Hi everybody, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, bringing you this extra episode, a review on a paleontology or dinosaur movie called Dinotasia. And Dinotasia is actually a film that was actually based on the Discovery Channel show Dinosaur Revolution. And this was actually made by David Krentz. And David Krentz is actually a filmmaker and also a dinosaur model artist. And he actually did not like the idea that his movie was actually going to be a TV show where it was actually going to be divided into 4 episodes. And so he actually contacted other movie companies to possibly help him make this movie that is pretty much based on a Discovery Channel show, Dinosaur Revolution. And so Dinotasia does actually show some dinosaurs that the public has never seen before. Like you actually start to see Eoraptor, you actually see Cryolophosaurus, you see a prosauropod, you actually see Guanlong, you actually see Majungasaurus and a few others. And you still have some familiar dinosaurs like Tyrannosaurus rex, Allosaurus, Triceratops, Mosasaur, and all those types of animals that have been very well known to the public. Now, this movie actually does do a nice job in terms of actually giving the environment of what these animals might have actually lived in. And Warner Herzog is actually a good movie company. It's actually have done pretty good movies that are most likely pretty much low budget type of movies, and they have done award-winning movies and all that sorts of stuff. With this movie, I would actually say that this movie is actually considered to be not the best ones of all the dinosaur documentary type of series, because you see, one is that it's based out of a TV show, and that really actually kind of puts things in perspective, because if anybody has actually seen all 4 episodes of Dinosaur Revolution, you've already seen every single thing that is actually coming out of this movie. And another thing is that this movie is actually all over the place. It is actually all over the place. It's actually a little too out of place with like the transition towards the end of the age of dinosaurs. Like it goes to the Triassic and then it goes straight towards the late Jurassic in Portugal, and then it goes to certain other parts of other places where dinosaur fossils have been found, and also they actually go straight towards the end of the Cretaceous in Montana, where they actually do a story about Tyrannosaurus rex. Now, I would actually say this is actually still a dated movie, and David Krentz actually tried his best to actually make this a very successful movie. I think dinosaur fans probably can still watch this film, considering that it's actually okay. I would say this is an okay film. The dinosaurs are outdated, but even though I would actually say this is that the behavior of the animals is a little too overwhelming. I would actually say that this is actually something that probably is a little bit too much like modern life. Like you see a Gigantoraptor almost looking like a very similar type of bird, where you actually have a male inflating like the sack that is actually the same color as one species of bird. And then you actually have Tyrannosaurus rex almost looking like a armor-plated giant crocodile, which I think that this is actually a little too out of proportion. And also, I would say this: if this movie was ever remade, I would actually say like you need to make it more in time. Of like, you go from the Triassic, then you go to the Jurassic, then you go to the Cretaceous. That's how you're supposed to go. I mean, this movie is kind of a little all over the place sometimes, and so I would actually say that it's a little all over the place. I think it's a little over dramatic. I'd say that like some of the animals kind of act like human behavior, which I don't think dinosaurs really had that. I don't think they really behaved kind of like humans. So that would actually be one negative about that. And it's a little too much of more of like say character building than anything else because you see if you're kind of trying to make more like a scientific documentary about this, you need to be more realistic with the dinosaurs in terms of the behavior. The behavior of these animals need to be a little bit more realistic. Because I would say that like they did probably behave like modern birds, but even though they probably still had some reptilian features where you actually start to see like you see like a reptile lineage of the past in them. But even though they actually are becoming more like modern birds. And also, the one criticism of Dinosaur Revolution was that the in between scenes where they actually go straight towards talking about the paleontological discoveries. You know, like it kind of almost had like these holograms of like Tom Holtz and a few other paleontologists that actually start popping up in between scenes. And I would say that that part was okay with me. It's just that Dinosaur Revolution, I would actually say that one is actually a decent TV show. It's still a little outdated, but I think Dinotasia is probably not the greatest dinosaur documentary. I would actually say that like this is actually probably a little bit more of trying to make it more like a dramatic, comedic type of movie, and it's kind of actually a little overwhelming. I I would I would say there's too much overacting, and I think this is actually just a little too much for me. Because when I first actually saw it, I was kind of a little bit disappointed, and the fact that David Krentz didn't really try to do like what Discovery Channel really tried to do was kind of make it more like a 4-part series. But it's just that Dinotasia is not really released. Dinosaur Revolution is not really released in the United States anymore. It's actually released all over the world, except the United States, and all we get is Dinotasia. Is because David Krentz wanted things his way. But David Krentz does make fantastic models. I would say I would give, in terms of a grade scale of Dinotasia, I would actually give it a C. I would actually give it between a D plus and a C minus, considering that this is actually a little overwhelming. The acting is a little overwhelming, and also the behavior is just a little bit too much. I would say if they actually try to do this a little bit more towards of what dinosaurs probably might have behaved, then I think that would actually be a little bit better. Alright, that's it for now. Now next week, Tuesday, will actually be a answering questions episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or any other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts of Dino Chris. Like the page, you can actually post your questions on the wall or in the comments section. Remember, keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Twitter at ZSGRILL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there. Also, take care of the people around you, and also for younger people out there, to make sure to listen to your parents, your teachers, and your guardians. It's the best motivation you can have for good education. It's very important to have a good education. So with a good education, you get a good job in the future. Alright, that's it for now, and I'll see you guys next week.